Hi everyone, Ravi this side. Welcome to Engineering Adda. So today in this video we are going to discuss about JDBC template and how we can use the JDBC template in Spring Boot. So let's get started for that. So first of all, what are all the things we are going to discuss in this video? Let me try to list it out. So we'll try to discuss about the JDBC template. What is it? What its advantage over the others JDBC APIs and how we can use it in the Spring Boot application. And then finally we'll try to create one Spring Boot application, try to use the JDBC template and try to develop the basic CRUD APIs. Okay, so this is what we are going to discuss in this video. So let's get started for that. So first of all, what is JDBC template? So this is Spring JDBC template is a powerful mechanism to connect to the database and execute SQL queries. So this is nothing but it is a kind of interface which help us to connect with the database and execute the SQL queries with the database. It internally uses the JDBC APIs which we have used long back ago. Okay, so but it eliminates a lot of problems of the JDBC APIs. Okay, so internally it is using the JDBC APIs, but it help us in such a way that it eliminates a lot of problems of the JDBC APIs. So what are all the problems you will encounter when you are using the JDBC API? Let me try to show you. So the problems of JDBC APIs are as follow. We need to write a lot of code before and after executing the queries. Okay, so when you connect with the database through the JDBC APIs, you have to write the queries for the connection. You have to write the statement, result sets, closing connection queries. So everything you have to write. But here, with the help of JDBC and templates, we can avoid those things. Okay, so we need to write a lot of code before and after executing the query, such as creating connection statement, result set, closing connection, etc. And that we need not to do with the help of JDBC template. What are the problems with the JDBC APIs? The next one is we need to perform the exception handling code on the database logic, but this is not the case in the JDBC template. We need to handle the transaction, and this is also not required in the JDBC template. Repetition of all these codes from one to another database logic is a time consuming. So JDBC template help us in solving all of these problems which we were experiencing while using the JDBC APIs. Now if we'll go to the next slide, these are the advantage. Like with the help of JDBC template, we can avoid all the listed problems what we face with the JDBC APIs. And there are two methods. As of now, I will list it out, which JDBC templates provide us, which is query and the update that we are going to use while we are developing the CRUD APIs. Okay. So this is about the JDBC template. Now what I will do, I will try to create one basic Spring Boot application, and there I will try to use the JDBC template to create a basic CRUD APIs. Okay, so let's get started for that. So let me try to go to the IntelliJ, and here let me try to create one Spring Boot application. So I just want to let you know that I'm using the IntelliJ Ultimate version, and you can to use that by creating like account on the IntelliJ. So here what I'm doing is I'm using the IntelliJ Ultimate version, and it helps us to create a Spring Boot application directly from the IntelliJ itself. If you're not using the IntelliJ Ultimate version, if you're using some others IDE or using the IntelliJ community version, then you can go to the Spring Starter IO website, and there you can create your Spring Boot application. I will tell you what to do. Okay, so if you're using the Ultimate version, go to the file, new project, and here you will find the option of a Spring Initializer. If you're not using it, here you can see this is the website where you have to go. If you'll go here, it will open up the same page what you're seeing here as of now, and the same thing you have to do. Okay, what I'm going to follow here. So just provide the name of your application. Let's say your application name is Spring Boot JDBC template example, something like that. Okay, and make sure it is Maven one, and according to your Java version that you're using, you can provide your JDK in the Java version. Okay, now go next, and here you can see we have to use couple of starter dependency in order to use the uh, in order to create the Spring Boot application and perform the basic CRUD APIs. Okay, so I'm just going to use the Spring Web, and I need MySQL driver also to connect with MySQL database, and we are not going to use the JPA here. We are going to use the JDBC template instead of JPA. So just use JDBC, and you can see this JDBC API is there, Spring Data JDBC is there. Okay, so here you can find there are JDBC APIs, JDBC Spring Data JDBC. Okay, so I'm just going to use this Spring Data JDBC. Now let me try to also use the Lombok for our convenience. So just include the Lombok as well. Now create this application and open in a new tab. Wait for few seconds to let this application download all the starter dependency that we have added and configure our application. Okay, so just load the Maven project and wait for few seconds. Okay, so once it is done, we can start doing our development. So what all the things we are going to do here is first of all we'll try to create a connection between the database and our Spring Boot application, and then we'll start doing the development work. So in the development work, what we are going to do, we are going to create the basic CRUD APIs, which are create, read, update, and delete APIs, and we are going to create the CRUD APIs, which will be managing the product. Okay, so we are going to create the APIs which will insert the product, which will update the product, which will fetch out the product, and which will like delete the product. So all those things we are going to do. So I think our application is being configured now. Let me try to go to the source, go to the main, and yeah, we are inside this Java. Everything look goods to me. Now if you'll go to the application properties file, here we need to do the basic configuration so that we can connect with our database. So before going to do the basic configuration, let me try to go to the IntelliJ, sorry, this MySQL, and this is what we are going to use as a database. And if you'll go to this database called product underscore db, if you'll go inside this table, I already have created a couple of tables here and I'm going to use one of them. If you are if you don't have any database ready, if you have not the tables ready, then don't worry. Okay, in the process of developing this application, we can do some configuration so that it can automatically create the table for you, but make sure that you are creating a database. Okay, so if you have to go to the your MySQL and you have a database handy, and then you need not to worry about the tables. These tables can be created automatically when we are making our application up and running. Okay, as of now I already have, so I'm just going to show you what all the things it contains. So you can see we have these three tables and we are going to use this product table. Let me try to run this query, and here you can see in the product table we have these four IDs, sorry, four fields like ID, name, price, and the quantity related to the product. Okay, and let me try to minimize this. Okay, and you can see a couple of products we have inserted in the database, and this is what I just want to show you. If you don't have the table ready, don't worry. In the process of developing the application, we can automatically create this product table, but make sure that you have the database created in your MySQL. So this is what I just want to show you about the MySQL. Now let me try to minimize it and try to do the necessary configuration so that we can connect with our database. Okay, so I already have listed out those configuration here. I will provide you those configuration And I also provide you the GitHub link of this application in the video description so that you can go there and refer it. So now go here to the application properties file, paste it out. I will try to tell you what all these things are. So here you can see this is the URL of our database, and you can see here the database. This is the database that I'm going to use. And if you go there to the MySQL again, you can match it out, product underscore DB. Okay. And this is the port number on which our MySQL is locally up and running. So you can see this local host and then the port number. And this is the basic, what I would say, the base URL for the MySQL. Now the username and password for me is root, and this is the password. And I have did this some JPA configuration. You can ignore it out. Now we have also said that our Spring Boot application is working on the port number 9000. Okay. The default port for the Spring Boot application, or you can say the Apache Tomcat, is 8080, but we have changed it to the 9000. So this is the configuration to connect with the database and make your application up and running on some particular port. Okay, so this is done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create the basic operation layers like entity, uh, like DAO layer, service layer, and the controller layer. Okay, so all those things I'm going to develop now. So in the beginning, I already have told you that we are going to create the basic CRUD APIs which will be managing the product. Okay. So let me try to create the entity called product here first. So first of all, let me try to create the package entity, and there I will try to put the product entity here. Okay. Now, what all the fields we need in the product? We have the ID, we have the name, we have the quantity, and we have the price. Okay, so if you'll go to the database again, you can see this. We have the ID, name, price, and the quantity. The same thing we are going to do here. So it is private integer ID and private string name, private double price, and private integer quantity. Okay, so we have created these four attributes. Now let me try to create the all argument constructor and no argument constructor and getter and setter, and then we have to create a table out of this entity, and that is why I'm using this annotation called at the rate table. And let's say the name of the table is the table which is already been created here in my case, but in your case you can name anything. Okay, so let's say the name of the table is product. So whatever name you are providing here in the entity, the same table is going to be created inside your database. So either what I can do is I can create a new table here, and let me try to avoid this product table. So in the at the rate table annotations, you have to provide the name of the table that you want to be created in your database. So let's say the table name is product underscore table, something like that. Is it there already? No. So this is what our table would look like. The name of this table would be product table, and this table will be created in the database automatically when we are going to run this application. Okay, so this is the basic thing, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the DAO layer. Okay, so here we are not using the JPA, we are using the JDBC template. So directly what I can do is I can write the service layer, and there itself I can write our queries which is related to the uh, database using the JDBC template. Okay, so we can avoid the DAO layer here. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are directly going to the service layer and creating the queries there. Okay, with the help of JDBC template. Okay, so let me try to do that here. Let me try to create the interface called product service, and before that let me try to create the package called service. Okay, so we are first of all creating the product service interface where we'll try to create these four methods which are related to the CRUD operations. So let's say the first method is returning the list of product. So import the product and the list as well, get all products, something like that. And the second one is let's say void create product. You have to pass the product that you want to insert in your DB. Now the third one is let's say void update product, and you have to pass the product ID as well, which product you want to update, and with which details you want to update, that also you have to provide. So either you can put the ID first. With this help of with the help of this ID, we are going to fetch out the product first, and then we'll update the product based upon the product details that we are sending here. Now the fourth one is delete product. You have to pass the ID. Based upon the ID, it will delete the product from the DB. So these four uh, abstract method we have created here in the product service interface. Now let me try to create the class which will be implementing all these methods. Okay, so first of all we create a package called impl, and let's say the class name is product service impl. Okay, and let me try to implement the product service interface here in this class. Okay, so import this and let me try to override. We have imported it. Let me try to override all the method inside the product service interface. Okay, so let me try to implement all these methods here. So we are inside the product service implementation class, and we have implemented we have not completely implemented, we are going to implement it now, but we have overridden all the methods inside the product service interface. Now the first method is what it is doing, it is returning the list of product. Okay, whatever there whatever the products are there in the database in your table. Okay, so as of now we don't have any tables created in the database. Okay, because you can see we are not using the existing table, we are just going to create a new table. So as of now we don't have any tables. Okay, so as of now we don't have any product inserted in the DB. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to write the query which will be fetching out all the products from the DB. Okay, so let me try to do that, and how we can do it is let me try to show you. So we have to write the query. Let's say the query, we have created one variable called SQL, and there we'll try to write our query. So the query will be select star from your table name. And what is your table name? Go to the entity product, copy this table name, come here again and paste it out. So this is the query, right? Select star from the table name, which will be fetching out all the products from this table called product underscore table. Now this query is ready, and where we need to pass this query. So here comes the picture of JDBC template. So we are going to use the JDBC template query method, and we'll pass this query to the query method of the JDBC template. Okay, so for that let me try to first of all annotate this class with the @service annotation, so that its bean can be created and assigned to the application context. Now let me try to auto wire the JDBC template here. Okay, so you need to look for JDBC template. Make sure this JDBC template is coming from the Spring Framework.jdbc.core. Okay, so JDBC template, and we have auto wired it. Now we can use it. So just copy this reference and come here to this method, paste it out, and then you have to call the query method. You can see there is a update method and the query method, which I already have referenced in the PowerPoint, okay, where we are explaining about the JDBC template. So this query method we are going to use as of now. So just call this query method, and if you'll go to this query method, let me try to go inside it. Okay, let me try to go inside this query method. Here you can see this query method is there are multiple implementation of this query method. One is the SQL, like the SQL query that you have to pass, and the second parameter is we have to pass the result set extractor. Similarly, if you'll go down, you can see there is a second implementation of this query method which is asking for the SQL query and then the rollback handler. Third one is you have to pass the SQL query and then you have to pass the row mapper. And here if you'll take a note on the return type of this query method implementation is list, right? And if you'll go there to our implementation class, you can see we are returning the list of product here in this method. Okay, so the same query method implementation we have to use. Okay, so if we'll go again, you can see this we are passing the SQL query and we are also passing the row mapper. So we need to create this row mapper, okay, and we have to pass this row mapper in this query method along with the SQL query that we have written, and we'll expect the return which is list, okay. So let me try to come here to the implementation class, and here you can see we have the query method which is coming from the JDBC template. We need to pass the SQL query that we have written above, and then the second argument we have to pass is the row mapper. So we have to create the row mapper here, okay. So what we'll do, let me try to create the row mapper here. So row mapper, let's say it is row mapper equal to, and again let me try to go inside this query method and show you something more. So if you'll go here to this query, if you'll go inside it, it is asking for the row mapper. If you'll go inside the row mapper is a functional interface and it has one method called mapRow, and it is looking for this two argument which is result set and the int row number. So directly we can implement this method in our row mapper where we are creating our row mapper here, right? So directly we can, let me try to go there to the row mapper. Directly we can use directly we can call this method or implement this method using the Java 8. So that is what we are going to do here. So go to your service and let me try to pass this two argument which is result set and the row number. So row number something like that, and let me try to map this row mapper to the product. Okay, so new product. Now what you have to do, you have to get the ID, name, price and the quantity from the result set and map it to the product. Okay, so that is what we are going to do here. So let's say rs dot get int, and let's say the column label is id. Similarly you have to do for the name and you have to do for the let me try to put it down. Okay, so we have the id, we have the name, we have the it would be get double in the case of price. Okay, so let's say price, and then we have rs dot get int, which is quantity in our case, the fourth one, right? So it is quantity. Now we are good. Let me try to remove this extra column here, sorry, comma. So we are good now. What we are doing here, we have created the row mapper and we have passed these two argument of the row mapper method. What we are doing with the help of result set, we are uh, getting out all the four parameters of the product and mapping it to the product. Okay, that's all. Now let me try to come here and pass this row mapper to this query method of the JDBC template, and let me try to return this directly from here, because it is returning the list of product. Okay, now we are good for this first method. Why we are getting this error? Let me try to use so this illegal reference to the restricted type variable. Okay, so let me try to remove this. We are not using the lombok variable, we are using the spring variable. Okay, so we are good. We have created the row mapper, we have mapped it to the product, and here we have the method which is getting out all the products from the DB. And what we have done, we have created one SQL query with the help of JDBC template. We are calling the query method of the JDBC template. We are passing this SQL query, and we are passing the row mapper as well. So these two things we are doing as of now, and we have created this method. Now this method is complete. Now let me try to create the controller layer as well, and there I will try to develop the API to get out all the products from the DB. Now let me try to do that. So come here, create the product controller, and let me try to put this product controller class in the package called controller. So create the controller package first, and then we are good. Now you have to annotate this class with @rest controller, so that it will be working as a controller class. Now let me try to also annotate it with the request mapping. Okay, so and provide the class level mapping as the API, and here come down auto add the product service. Okay, so product service. Why we are auto wiring the product service? So that we can call the method inside the product service. Okay, so let me try to show you. And how we can call the product service method. We have implemented the first one, which is list of product, get all the products, and this method we are going to call inside the API that we are going to develop here in the controller layer. Okay, so let me try to develop that API first. So it would be get mapping, let's say the additional mapping for this API would be products. Okay, and it is returning the list of product. Okay, let me try to import the product as well, and the list also. Let's say the method name is get all products, and inside its implementation we are using the product service reference to call the get products method. Okay, and then simply return it. So let me try to show you the whole flow first of all. So here what we are doing is we have created this product controller class and annotated this class with @rest controller, so that it can be working as a controller layer. Okay, and we have the request mapping as a API, which is a class level mapping. Downside we have auto wired the product service, so that we can call the method inside the product service, and then we have created one API which is returning the list of product. If we'll go inside this method, if we'll go inside the implementation of it, you can see here we are creating one query which is returning the list of product, and then we are passing this query to the JDBC query method. Okay, simple as that. And in the application dot properties file, you can see we have already configured our database connectivity and all. Okay, so we are good now. Now let me try to make this application up and try to see if all thing is working fine. Then we'll try to hit this API and then see what all the data we are getting from the DB. Okay, so I just made this application up and running, and just wait for few seconds. It will take few seconds. here you can see this application is up on the port number 9000. If we'll go to the application properties file, you might see here that we have already configured to run this application on the port number 9000. So our application is up on the port number 9000, and this is the database that we are using. And if we'll come here to the entity called product, you can see the table that we have defined here is product underscore table. If we'll come here to the database, let me try to refresh this DB. And as of now, we don't have anything. Now let me try to open the Postman here and try to hit the API that we have developed. Okay, and then see. So just wait for a few seconds. It will take few seconds to make it up. I think it is up. Let me try to maximize it out. And here we go. Let me try to call this API that we have developed. So our application is locally upon the port number 9000, and then the class level mapping we have is forward slash API, and then the API that we have developed to get out or to fetch out all the product from the DB is forward slash products. So that is what we are using here. Now let me try to send it, and we are getting the 500. Let me try to come here and then see what is the error. So here it is saying that product underscore DB dot product underscore table does not exist here. Okay, so this table is not there, and if you'll come here to this application.properties file, okay, this JPA configuration is not working, so it is not automatically creating the table for us. So we have to manually create the table here. Okay, so come here to the database and come here under the section called table and create the table. So let's say the table name, go to the entity and try to copy the table name, and same table name you have to provide it here. So come here to the entity, go up, copy this table name, go to the MySQL and paste the table name here. Now we have to provide the fields, okay, what we are going to create in the table. So we have the fields like ID, name, price, and the quantity. So that is what we are going to add here. So let me try to minimize this. Okay, so here you can see the column name. So in the column name you have to provide uh, the attributes of the entity, so that's its column can be created in the table. Okay, so let me try to do. So the ID was the first column, and then we have the name, and then we have the price, and then we have the quantity. Okay, quantity. Okay, so ID is a int and name is a string, price is a this double, right? So you have to select the double here, and the quantity is integer. So let me try to select the integer here. Okay, that's all. Let me try to create the table and apply it and finish. So we have the tables created inside it. So if you'll go to the product underscore DB database, you can see inside the table we have the table called product underscore table. And as of now, we don't have anything inside it. So let me try to go to the query and try to run this. So do a select star from product underscore table, and we have this schema ready, which is ID, name, price, and the quantity. As of now, we don't have anything. Now come here to the application and try to go to the controller. Let me try to make this application up, and let's see how it is behaving this time. If it is working fine, we'll try to hit the API. And application is up. Now go to the Postman and try to hit this API. And this time you can see it is giving us the 200 status. That means OK. And as of now, we are not able to get anything from the database because we don't have any product inserted in the table called product underscore table. Okay, so we don't have anything inside the table, so that is why we are getting null here. But you can see the status is 200. That means the API is working fine. Now if we'll go to the Spring Boot application, you can see we are not getting any error here. So API is working fine. Now let me try to create the second API, which will be inserting the product into the database. So how we can do that? So first of all, let me try to go to the product service, and here you can see we have created this method called create product, and we are passing the product details here. Now if you'll go inside it, you have to create the uh, like you have to write the query to insert the product into the DB, and then you have to uh, call the update method of the JDBC template and then pass this query. Okay, so let me try to do that. So how it is, first of all you have to create the query. So SQL, and the query will look like insert into product underscore table, and these are the fields, and then we have to provide the values, and the values would be, we are picking the values from the ever product entity that we are passing in the method. Okay, so you can see this is the product that we are passing, this is the product that we want to insert into the table. So we'll try to get the details of the ID, name, price, and the quantity from this and try to insert it out. So that is why we are passing the question mark here in the value. Now we are good. Let me try to use the JDBC template dot update, pass the pass this query, and then we have to pass the argument here. So product dot get ID, comma, get name, get price, and get quantity. Okay, all those things we have to pass here. Okay, I think we are good. Now let me try to run this application. Okay, so let me try to cancel it now. So we have created the method only. We have like written the query, and we are passing this query to the JDBC template update method, but we don't have the API ready. So let me try to do the API, and then we can hit this API, and then we'll try to insert the product into the database. So just paste it out. This time this would be the post mapping, and let's say it is the API would look like insert product, something like that. And let's say the method name is insert, and here we are returning nothing. So let me try to return void, and let me try to remove this return from here. We have to call the, I think it was insert or what, create, right? We have to call the method that we have implemented. So let me try to go there and then see. So if you go to the product service, you can see this is the method create product. Copy this, and this should not look like capital C, and then like it should be in the camel case, right? Let me try to rename this. So right click on it, refactor it, and rename this. It should be starting from the small c and then capital P. Similarly for the update as well, camel case thing should be done here. So update product, now delete product. Okay, so we have the method ready. Now if we'll go to the implementation of it, you can see this is also changed. So we have the get products, and now we have the create product. Let me try to copy this method name, come here to the controller, and try to call it. And here we need to pass the product that we want to insert. Okay, and the same product that we want to insert, we need to pass it as a request body, so that we can pass it from the client, or you can say the postman, right? So you have to use the request body for that. So in the request body, we are passing this product that we want to insert, and now we are passing the product reference to the create product method. Okay, if you'll go inside this, go to its implementation, and here you can see we have the query ready, and then the attributes from this product that we want to insert, we are just taking it out and then sending it to the update method of the JDBC template, which will be helping us to insert the product into the database. So everything is ready. Go to the controller again and let's see. Yeah, it is looking good. Now let me try to rerun this application and try to hit this API, which is insert product. So copy this, come here to the postman, and let me try to change it to the post, and the additional API should be insert product. And then you have to go to the body, you have to go to the JSON, and then you have to provide the product that you want to insert. So the ID, let's say ID is 1, and let's say the product name is mobile. Okay, and let's say price is something like 24,000, and let's say we have the quantity here, so quantity is 1. Okay, and now let me try to again go to the application, and here you can see our application is up on the port number 9000. Go to the postman and try to hit this, and then see what it is doing. So here you can see the status is 200. Okay, that means our product is being inserted into the DB. So you can come here to the database and directly you can run this query and then see. So here you can see one product is inserted inside the DB. Now what you can do, you can come here and you can also hit the previous API that we have created to fetch out all the products inserted into the DB. So let me try to do that. So it is API forward slash products, and it is a get one. So just try to hit it. You can see we are getting the inserted product. Okay, so both of the APIs are working fine. Now similarly you have to create the update API and the delete API. So let me try to do that as well. So we are inside this product service interface. Now this update product method is, this is the method that we need to implement. So go inside it, and here what we are doing, we are fetching out the product based upon the ID, and then with the help of the product that we are passing here in the method, we have to update the existing product. Okay, so let me try to do that. So first of all, what we need to do, we need to write the query, which is let's say variable SQL equal to update product underscore table set. You have to set, let's say the ID, let's say we don't want to change the ID, so just remove it. Set the name, price and the quantity, and let's say where ID equal to question mark. Okay, I think the query look good to me. Update table, set these fields of the table based upon the ID. Okay, so ID we are passing, based upon the ID we are fetching out that particular product, and we are updating that particular product with the product that we are passing from the client. Okay, so let me try to call the update method of the JDBC template here. So just call the JDBC template dot update and pass this SQL query, and then all the others parameters we need to pass here. So let me try to pass those things as well. So it would be like product dot get name and price and the quantity, and then we have to pass the ID as well. Okay, let me try to do that. Okay, so one thing is extra, I think. Yeah, So this closing braces was the extra one. I removed it and everything is looking good now. So what we are doing, we have created this query which is updating the product. The first of all, it is finding out the product based upon the ID and then updating it with the product that we are passing. Okay, and then we are calling this update method of the JDBC template, passing this query, and then fetching out those details that we want to update in the existing product from this product reference that we are passing. Okay, and that's all. Now we have to go to the product controller and try to create the API for that. So this time it would be put API because this is for the update, and now we have to pass the additional parameter. Let's say additional URI, you can say, let's say it is update product, something like that. And let's say void update product. We have to pass the ID and the product based upon which we want to update the existing product. So ID we are just going to pass as the path variable. Okay, so let me try to do that. Integer ID, and here you have to pass the ID as a path variable. Okay, so both of the argument look good. Now let me try to call the method that we have implemented inside the product service implementation class. So how we can call it? Use this product service method dot update product, and then we have to pass the ID and the product. That's all. Now let me try to run this application and try to hit this API. So copy this, come here to the Postman, paste it here, and this time it would be put. And let's say we want to update the price of this existing product. So this earlier the price was 24,000. Now let me try to change it to the 25,000, and or you can say 48,000, and I will also update the quantity to 2, something like that. Okay, so our application is up, and yeah, now let me try to hit this and then see. Okay, so here you can see we have to pass the ID as a path variable. So let me try to add this ID, and we can remove this ID from here in the request body. Hit it and then see the status is 200. That means our update product API is working fine. Now if we'll go there, either you can go to the database and try to check it from here itself. So let me try to run this query, and here you can see this product with the ID 1, which was the like name mobile. Now the price and the quantity of the existing product is modified. Earlier it was the price was 24,000, now it becomes 48,000, and the earlier the price quantity was 1, now it becomes 2. So the update API is also working fine. Now we have to do the delete one. So again, go to the product service interface. We have this delete method, which is delete product. We are passing the ID, and based upon the ID we are deleting it. So now go inside it and try to implement this delete product method. So first of all, what we'll do, we'll try to create the query which is delete product, delete from product, where ID equal to question mark. We have the query ready. Now we need to call the update method of the JDBC template. Let me try to see. Okay, so we need to call the update method of the JDBC template. We have to pass this query, which is the query to delete the existing product, and now we have to pass the ID as well. Okay, so it look good. Now the implementation is done. Go to the product controller and try to create the API here. So it would be delete mapping, and let's say it is delete product. We have to pass the ID as a path variable. So based upon this ID, we are going to delete the existing product. So let me try to do that. Void delete product, and we are passing this ID as a path variable. Simply what we are going to do, we are going to use the product service reference and then call the delete product method and then pass this ID. So we'll go inside it, go to its implementation. Based upon this ID, it is deleting the product from the existing table. Okay, delete from product. Okay, so this time you need to uh, make sure that the table name is product underscore table. Okay, so here you can see the table name was product underscore table. So like in the delete we were missing it. We named the table as a product, but yeah, our table is product underscore table. So the query is delete from product underscore table, which is the table name where ID is question mark, and the ID we are picking up from the ID that we are passing as a path variable. So everything looked good to me. Now let me try to rerun this application, and then we'll try to hit the API. So go to the product controller and copy this. Just wait for a few seconds. You can see our application is up on the port number 9000. Now go to the postman and change this. And as of now, we only have one product inserted in the DB, and we are going to delete that as well. Okay, so the API for the delete is delete product, and then we have to pass the product ID that we want to delete as a path variable. So we are going to delete the product one. Okay, now you have to change the verbose to delete. Okay, so select the delete and then try to send it. And here you can see we are getting the 200 response. That means the delete API is also working fine. If we'll go to the database and try to run this query, and here you can see as of now we don't have anything. So the product that we have inserted is deleted now. So all these four basic CRUD APIs is working fine, and this is how you can use the JDBC template in a Spring Boot application to carry out the CRUD related operations, or the others operation also you can carry out. Okay, so this is the use case of JDBC template in the Spring Boot application. If you like the video, please hit the like button and please subscribe the channel for more such content. Thanks.